Going
see it
back to
happening.
Chuck Fletcher though, and the Flyers.
Yeah, we can kind
This
of.
is
We went a little long on the
yeah.
league wide stuff. We can kind of
So
transition over a bit to our season review for the Flyers.
so based off of Chuck Fletcher's comments, according to Taryn Hatchin from NBC Sports Philly, this is what she believes the Flyers' biggest needs are. And I agree with her. Bottom six players that can improve production. He is in Chuck Fletcher is anticipating the return of Patrick and Lindblom will help balance depth throughout the lines as well and defensive depth. And that's all you need. That is really all you need to help this team.
It's true.
Because again, he knows what he has here.
Well,
He's almost he's basically content with what we have. It's just we need a little bit more.
How can you not look at the team?
No, I agree.
I will also say this too. It took a little while for me to get this way, even though in the series when you're complaining every 5 seconds because the Flyers play and pitching on the Islanders.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of bright spots in this Flyers team.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
And I've said this many times during these playoffs. I'm not taking anything out of it. I'm not surprised that a team like the Stars or the Islanders are in it. I'm a little surprised that they made it this far, but it's like the start of the season again.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything out of it because the good teams tend to struggle at the beginning of the year. And apparently this as well. Apparently the Capitals thought of this as a vacation and didn't really care about being in the bubble. That's why you saw the performance they put out. And because of that, maybe they go for Babcock just because he's not going to like that kind of behavior, because it sounds like it's between Gallant, Laviolette, and Babcock for the coaching job there in Washington. I don't think anything's been finalized there.
Good coaches.
Yep.
All three would be good coaches for them.
They would be.
I just don't know.
But that really shows you how
would give someone like
Babcock
a chance again.
Yeah, that would be really telling if that's actually true, that they didn't care about being in the bubble, and that they were just content winning that cup in 2018. How terrible of a coach Kevin is.
Reardon is.
Yeah. Was.
Yeah, sure. He's now an assistant in Pittsburgh, which still makes me laugh.
Yes, it does. But anyways, back to the Flyers in our season review. We'll look at the highlights, lowlights, everything in between.
So looking at their season, they're 41-21-7, 89 points. Second in the Metro, only a point behind the Capitals. If we had an entire season in the NHL, the Flyers no doubt would have been on top of the Metro. Mm-hmm. No doubt. They played like they really wanted it, and they were doing everything they could.
That's true. And also this, based on the year prior, 2018-19, and really the question we're going to answer at the end of this, which I think both of us had the same answer to, is, was this Flyers season a successful season? If you're talking in the sense of based off last year to this year, can you rattle off the Flyers standings from this year again? I got last year's.
41-20-8 for, 41-21-7 for 89 points in 69 games. 0.645.
That was also a shortened season, mind you, because of the pause. But in 82 games, the Flyers were 37-37-8 and with 82 points last year in 18-19. So in that sense, and the Flyers made it to the playoffs. In that sense, you could argue that was a success, but for the Flyers and many Flyers fans, they're basing success on actually being in the playoffs and how they do in the playoffs. So a lot of people, I think, were a little turned off because the Flyers were never able to get that spark back going again that they had down the stretch before play was halted. But no one was going to be able to go back to what they were. The Blues didn't. The Bruins didn't.
Capitals didn't.
The Penguins were exactly how they were when they left off play because they were terrible at the end.
Yeah.
But again, it's these things just kind of happen, but
Yeah. But so
and
that's what their
also the
stats
other thing
were
too
this year.
is they still didn't play their best lineup. I know that's a
No.
kind of a cop out for this season, just because Oscar had the cancer, had his cancer treatment and everything, which he was able to be, and
He played 2
he
games.
played 2 games, did not win, but a little salty about that one. Um,
Yeah.
good for Bobby Ryan, but I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But Oscar did come back, which is a surprise. Hopefully, that can be Nolan Patrick next year. But they were without 2 of the better players, and Oscar was absolutely going to be on a career year this year.
Yeah.
If he would have kept playing, and also if Oscar was, I don't think it was 100% when he was playing, obviously, because
No, he
only
definitely
had
wasn't, and you could
he
tell,
only
and
had a
that's all right.
month. He only had a month to really prepare.
Yeah, so I'm
And
not
even
giving him any
he didn't look
crap or anything like
he
that.
didn't look
The guy
bad.
just beat cancer.
He didn't look bad at all. I'm just saying
No, he looked solid.
he looked
And but I did feel bad because you could tell at times, especially during that double overtime game, he just looked exhausted, like
Yeah, I
just
think that's why
skating,
you saw
and it
him. I
wasn't
think
his
that's why you
usual
saw him
self.
move down to the 4th line.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. Just
Yeah.
to get him back out there on the ice. So.
And now he's got a couple months to 3 months
Train,
or however long the
heal,
next season
rest up,
starts. Yeah.
get his strength back, which he will.
Also,
Really,
I know this is another cop out, but our Selke winner and Sean Couturier, which we haven't mentioned yet, he rightfully so won it. And for other guys too, I'm sure it was hard, especially on Coots, to just leave his freshly newborn. Literally had this. He still had the hospital bracelet on his wrist still when he left for the bubble, as a reminder. But still, that's a lot to go through to be able to.
It really is.
Because obviously family comes first and everything, so it's great that he still came up to the bubble and played as well as he did. But
Speaking about the Selkie, though, do you know how?
Three
Flyers. How? It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
It was his. Yeah, he was going to win it.
So here were the points in the voting. So points wise, I'll do the top 3 because of the finals. Of course, O'Reilly came in third with 816 points. Bergeron 884 points. Sean Couturier 1,424 points. Here were the first place of votings. 11 first place for O'Reilly, 21 for Bergeron, 117 for Couturier.
Yeah, know who didn't put him there? Pierre.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Yo, by the way, here's something to keep in mind. Anthony Cirelli came in 4th in voting.
Yeah, he's up and coming. Just saying.
Yeah. He's a feature select winner.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I think even Charlie was saying he actually had him in his finalist.
I wouldn't be surprised because, again, like he did a lot for Tampa Bay.
He did.
He's a young kid, and he's doing a lot.
And honestly, you could make the argument, and it's because Couturier's game completely changed a couple of years ago, becoming a lot more offensive because they were actually using him more in the offensive zone rather than defensively. But if the reward really was for best defensive forward, he should have won it a couple times. But because it should be renamed to best two-way forward, because also they want the points in there, because the points matter for a defensive forward. Now he's actually going to get more recognition, which he should.
Right.
That's another really good bright spot to this Flyers team, and that the young guys got their voices out there, not just to fans, but to the league itself. People who didn't know Carter Hart know Carter Hart now. People who didn't know, obviously Oscar because answer, but people who didn't know Provorov as much. He didn't play great.
But he had his moments.
He had his moments.
Yeah.
And still,
it would have been nice to see TK have some moments, but he just still
he just never was. He just never was able to go.
Here's what the problem is a little worrisome. Excuse me. Chuck Fletcher announced had some injuries. The only injuries that were notable was Raffle had high ankle sprain from the round robin,
I was right.
and Albe just had a bad bruise on his knee. So he said some guys play through minor things, but that was all he revealed, according to Charlie O'Connor. No surgery scheduled yet, though the postseason physical process is a little different this year. So that's a little worrisome for TK and Giroux because they weren't that injured or just has nothing's been
Drew turned
scheduled
it.
yet.
I will say this. Drew turned it around
Drew,
later in
Drew
the
turned it around
later in
later.
the
Yeah,
series. Yeah, he did.
unfortunately, too little,
Connecting
too
at
late. But
times, he was
yeah,
playing his connecting self. He was just snake bitten,
that I agree with.
and
But
because he was so snake bitten, realistically, you could argue maybe he did score, but they gave it to Provorov instead.
yeah,
Um, maybe just because of that thing of not scoring for a while, you're holding your stick too long. He made
you're gripping your stick too
his
tight.
but the Flyers coaching staff, as much experience as they have, should have gone to TK because he made a lot of moments, even in the season, of passing one too many times. If he's he
Yes.
made a pass. Travis Konechny's should be your, not that he's a sniper, but he should essentially be your sniper. He shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You shouldn't tell him to pass it. His goal all the time should be aim for the net.
Look what he did all season long.
Exactly.
Look at his stats. He had 24 goals, 37 points, for 61 points, the most for the Flyers this year.
Unfortunately, not the 40 Jeff predicted, so that didn't come true.
Well, you know what? That shortened season ruined it.
We did keep count. Every time we scored, we did keep the tally going.
So this is how consistent he is. He scored 24 goals, including this year. The last so 3 out of his now 4 years, he scored 24 goals. His first one, he scored 11. So his point total has gone up every
Oh yeah,
year. 11,
it's still going to, and
28
realistically,
points in his rookie year, which is good for a rookie.
I wouldn't want to
47
separate him.
points second year, 49 last year, 61 this year.
Mm-hmm. He's a really good player, and
he's
I'm
great.
just saying,
He's phenomenal.
And even in that season, he still had those moments. Not as much in the playoffs, but he definitely had those moments where if he was on an odd-man rush or something, or anything like that, he maybe passed it a little too long or shot it wide.
So I'm looking at the Flyer stats. Ready for this? JVR had a very quiet 40-point year.
Yes, you did.
He had 40 points. No one even noticed. He 19 goals. Yeah, it's not the 32 he put up in Toronto. Who cares?
If or the 27 he put in his first year or first season back. But again,
if he puts up 20 plus goals every year,
many goal
fine.
scorers are very streaky. Also, last year and this year, he was hurt at times. So for him, for some reason, whenever he gets hurt and comes back, it's actually
he only missed 3 games apparently.
I was talking more so last year, but
right, but
yeah. And this year he could have easily, if the season would have continued, he could have gotten mid-20s maybe. But again, he's no, he wouldn't have. He was hurt. He got hurt at the end of the year. Remember?
Yeah.
Which would have sidelined him for the rest of the year, I believe, or at least close to it. But JVR, whenever he gets hot, he gets hot. He'll just, if he scores one, he's going to score like 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
He did that in the playoffs. But when he's cold or not doing anything, you just don't really notice him.
Yeah.
That's the issue with JVR, and he's not great defensively. And because Flyers fans are Flyers fans, they will crap on him for that.
Team, it's really funny. Really quickly, NHL Network tweeted out a video about Couturier after he won the Selke and says, "Most underappreciated player in the NHL?" ? Not anymore. No, I think he is still.
It's less so now, but yeah. Once you win the reward, you're no longer really that.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for the writers' sense, because the writers vote on the Selke, so the writers at least are now acknowledging Couturier. Whether it's seen throughout the league, which it already is, but we'll see. Also, those two for Konechny's sake. I hope he sticks with Kevin Hayes.
Him and Kevin Hayes are phenomenal together. They just feed off of each other. It's crazy.
And I think this wouldn't be much of a surprise either if we're looking towards next season. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Frost as a center.
I really hope Morgan Frost is up next year with the Flyers. When
Mm-hmm.
he was here with the Philadelphia Flyers for a few games, he was real solid.
Both he and Farabee both have to build up their
Yeah,
strength.
yeah.
Um,
No, Farabee has to gain more muscle for sure. Frost, he does as well. Hopefully he'll. Yeah, it's Frost has got to be careful along the boards if he can.
he's not great
He's
along the boards yet.
well,
That's
right. That's what
why
I'm saying. He's
the
got to
one thing
build
he is
that
really good at,
style and skill.
he does really well, similar to what Barzell or Point does. He's younger
Mhm.
and you haven't seen it much, but he's really good at keeping the puck in the zone. Once
Yes.
you're in the zone, it's for both these guys. I feel like they need someone on the line with them to get them going. They're not at that
Mm,
point yet to have a line to uh, kind of hold that line or whatever.
right.
So, which I could maybe see is maybe have Lindblom or uh, with Farabee or Frost if Frost is here,
Mm,
just because Lindblom is really good at getting the puck into the zone. He's really
yeah.
good on the board, along the boards, and at that point, you can just give it to Frost and he can do his work. He can do what he does best, which
Yeah.
is his skills and all that. Which I am really excited to see Frost eventually come up.
Mm-hmm.
But again, once Patrick does come up, this whole thing, this whole team dynamic and everything just changes, whatever
It
they do.
does.
Um, so it'd be interesting to see. The only question I will have is if you say Braun is gone and a trade
Mm-hmm.
Ghost, unless you're getting a defenseman back at some point, um, you're missing a D. You have a D spot up. You
I
have
wouldn't mind giving. Yeah.
Haig and Freeman. I think once camp starts, I think it's going to be Haig, Freeman, and Zamula.
Yeah.
Zamula, I think that's higher on the uh, chart now, just
Depth
because
chart. Yeah.
he made it. He was on the roster for
Huh.
the playoffs.
My thing is all
I
right. So
hope they
looking
don't.
at the roster,
I hope they don't trade Ghost, but just
Provorov, Niskanen, Sanheim, Myers as your top four for now. You have Braun. I hope is gone. Haig. I wouldn't mind as seventh defenseman. I hope you have Goss to spare. That's six. You still technically have a seventh spot, which I wouldn't mind giving to Freeman, Zamola, or I doubt he's ready, but Wyatt Wiley.
not yet. They're not going to do that for him. He's too
I
young.
know. Like I said, I doubt he's ready, but Wyatt Wiley.
If Wiley would be playing, he'd be playing. He wouldn't be the healthy scratch.
Well, no, I'm saying in general he would make the team. That's why I said I doubt he would be playing, but him.
Right.
That's my thing. So
Yeah, I will say this maybe because I thought this last year for the Phantoms, even though if the Phantoms do play and the AHL does play,
hopefully,
um, the Phantoms didn't do great last year.
no, they did awful.
Hopefully, because you got a couple weapons coming to you. You got Linus Sandin, you got Tanner Lazinski, Wade Allison, um, and
Linus
then
Hogberg, I believe.
Hogberg, White Wiley,
Yep.
Zamula if he's not on the team. I think Friedman's the extra no matter what. I
Yeah.
don't think he's going to be on the Phantoms anymore. And then you
No,
get another year of Ustameka and Sandstrom, see what they got. And I
that's
think
fine
that
with me. Help them
and
develop more.
and if I'm lying,
Yeah.
sure, I'd want to come back maybe, but I'd also might want to test the market a little bit just because he's got no chance here anymore.
No, he doesn't.
Maybe if this is Elliott's last year coming back to the Flyers for a year, maybe it's the backup, but even then, I'd kind of rather Ustameka or Sandstrom at that point if they're ready.
Yeah.
I think his time here might be done for Lyon like it was for Stolars.
No, I think you're right. And
Which sucks because
unfortunately,
both he and Stolars had moments of being good,
yeah, no,
but
for sure. He
it's
never panned out.
unfortunately for Lyon, he might just be an AHL caliber backup at this point, similar to Stolars.
Yeah.
I know that's not where he would probably envision himself right now or wish he would be, but That's
No.
what he's got to work with. And seeing now Carter Hart is their starter, it's either hoping that you're the backup if Elliott gets hurt or Elliott doesn't come back, or taking your talents elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Not saying he couldn't get a deal somewhere. He's not gonna cost you a lot. It's just
no, he won't. Because again, for where is he?
700,000, I think.
Oh, there he is. I have to go all the way down.
I think he was making this year.
Yeah, he's. I believe
every contract,
700,000.
which is kind of sad for him, but every contract he has signed since being with the Flyers has been less and less.
Yeah. Again,
except
he's 27.
Yeah.
I think you kind of know what to expect from him.
You know what you're getting out of him. Yeah. It sucks, but it might be time to.
Yeah.
Not that it really matters, because for the Phantom's sake, that's fine. I mean, not that having an AHL career isn't terrible. Look at Michael Layton. He was great in the AHL.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
I think he might be one of the best AHL goalies ever.
I think he technically.
He just never.
Yeah.
He just never was able to really bring it to the NHL much. And I think you're going to see
not a whole lot. Yeah.
Again, moments here and there, but
exactly.
But now that the Flyers actually have their goalie, I think people's expectations for the Flyers is now going to not so much change. I think that where people place them is going to be different. Instead of it being maybe the Flyers.
That's the beauty of the national stage. People saw how great Carter Hart can be.
Yeah,
and so they know, okay, he's legit. So let's give the Flyers an actual shot.
Instead of them being maybe a wild card team, I think they're absolutely.
Top three in the Metro. Top three.
I think they're going to be second. I'm doing a bold prediction now.
Not saying first,
even though I don't think it's that bold, they're second in the Metro. This is who I think. This is the top three I could see next year for the Metro. Carolina, Philadelphia, Washington/Pittsburgh.
Again, my bold prediction.
I know your bold prediction is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's not making the playoffs. So it's
but I don't think the Islanders are making it, so someone has to make it. So I think it's going to be the Penguins.
Columbus.
Or Montreal if they do add people.
Again, it doesn't have to be 4 teams, or even it doesn't have to be 4 teams for each division. It can be a 5 and a 3.
That's true.
Or sorry, conference, I should say. So here's my top teams that would make the playoffs and be in order for the Metro. So 1, bit of a bold prediction, Carolina. 2, Philly. 3, Washington. 4, Columbus. 5, Islanders. 6, Pittsburgh.
The Islanders aren't making the playoffs. I don't think the Islanders are making the playoffs next year. I don't think they're good. I'm sorry, I don't think they're good. I know they're in the Stanley Cup.
Just because they're in my 5 doesn't mean they're in the playoffs. Just saying.
That's also true.
So, again, my top 4, Carolina, Philly, Washington, and who did I just say it for?
Columbus and
Columbus.
Islanders.
So if anything,
so you're not going to add the Rangers in there, or do you think that was just a fluke year for the Rangers?
Oh my God, no, they're not in there. Are you kidding me? Even with Alexis Lafreniere? Hell no.
I think they're just as good as those other teams just mentioned, but that's just me.
It's going to be close, but they're missing out on another year. That's just what I think.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying. So you're thinking that? Okay.
It's going to be 4 teams maximum in the Eastern Conference for the Metropolitan Division next year. It's no longer 5 teams in the Metro for the playoffs. While in the Atlantic, Boston, Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Montreal are next year for at least 4 of the spots.
Yeah. Maybe Florida.
Maybe 5 for Florida. Yeah, exactly. If they turn around.